Well, here we are again. It's another day in paradise on the O'Neill patio. Today we're going to make Tamika's Shut Your Mouth cream cheese dip spread. What are you going to call it? It's good, and it's cream cheese. I got turned on to smoking cream cheese a number of years ago by a friend of mine named Mike Goetz. Guy he cooks phenomenal stuff all the time, but just smoked cream cheese, just taking a stick of cream cheese and putting it in the smoker is awesome. But then a couple of months ago, a friend of mine, Katie Waite, turned me on to this thing called a jalapeno popper cream cheese dip stuff. It was phenomenal. So I got to thinking, what if we merged the two together? What would we come up with? For a long time, we did some trial and error. This has been several months in the making to come up with what we've got here today. But what we're going to make for you is Tamika's Shut Your Mouth cream cheese dip spread. Now, here's what you're going to need. One, you're going to need a cast iron skillet. You're going to have flies show up just because you're cooking, but we'll wave those away. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of butter. You're going to need a 1/4 cup of chopped chilies, green chilies, a 1/4 cup of jalapenos, 1 cup of onion. We're going to use a 1/2 cup of Parmesan. We're going to use a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, and we're going to need 2 sticks of cream cheese. Cheaper the better. You don't have to get name brand, just go cheap. And as always, we start with a cast iron skillet. Now, the last time we sprayed it down, we're not spraying this one down. We're going to go into it with a little bit of butter. We're going to put that on our heat and let that get going. We're going to throw on our onions. Get that in there. Green chilies, jalapenos. We're going to get those in there. Get those started. And this is the best part, this seasoning we're using. We're using a tablespoon of Tony's Creole seasoning. Don't mess up what's already good. Just get a can of that and put that in here. If you like it a little spicier, go get the spicy version of this. But this is a wonderful thing. We've got 1 tablespoon going on top of that. Now we're going to let that go on top of the grill for a while, and I'll give you more specifics later, but we'll be back in just a few minutes to finish this up. Alright, we've got our vegetables going. The onions, the peppers, and the chilies are going with our seasoning over here in our firebox. They're staying nice and hot, and we're getting those real good and soft. We want those onions to start to turn brown, but not get completely brown. We want to start to pull the sweetness out of them, like a caramelizing process. That's what we're trying to do with them. While that's happening though, on our smoked side of our box, we're going to take our cream cheese and just set that aside. Let it do its thing. It's going to get some smoke on it. As this continues to cook, that smoke's going to filter up through our smoke box and get some smoke on that cheese and soften it as well. And that's what we need to do. We need to get that soft so when we start to implement all this together, it's all going to merge together. So we'll be back here in just a second and keep going. Alright, so here we are, we're back. It's been roughly 20 minutes that we've had these vegetables going, and they've come to a place where I like them. They've come sweet, but I've not got them so brown that they're burned or anything like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that, I don't know what that is, but take that out. We're going to put those right in here. Put that in there with our cream cheese. Put that aside. Now we're going to add that 1/2 cup of Parmesan to the mix, just like that. We're going to take 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. It depends on just how sweet you want it. I think right here we've got about 1/4 cup. It'll make it taste a lot sweeter than if you left it out altogether, which, you know, is fine too. Now, that's pretty soft, as you can tell. And as this process goes on, we're just going to continue to fold that in about every 15 minutes. We're going to come back and fold it. And this process is going to take a couple hours. So every 15 minutes, you want to come back and stir this and just barely fold it in. You don't want to do a lot of movement with it. You just want to slowly work each ingredient in. Okay? So I'm going to shut that, and then we're going to talk about our firebox for just a second. Another thing I've done is we have soaked some hickory. We've soaked some hickory wood. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that hickory wood in here. And take this hickory wood that we've put in water, we've got it nice and wet. We'll put that right on top of a fire. What that's going to do, that's going to create a lot of smoke, because we want that smoky flavor to get inside that cream cheese. There we go. Now we put that in there. We're going to put the lid back down, and we're going to let this go 15 minutes. We're going to come back and we're going to fold that cheese sauce one more time. Alright, so we got our country music going in the background there. As you can see, we're trying to keep our heat between 250 and 275. If you get up above 325, I think we're going to do some damage. So we're going to try and keep that around 250, 275. But it's been about 15 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and start folding. As you can see, we've got a little smoke on the outer edges. You see how it's kind of brown. We're going to just start folding those things together. You can tell what has smoke and what don't have smoke just simply by the color of it. We're just going to lightly fold those together and try to pull all that white up. And it's just getting a little bit softer and a little bit softer as we go. So I'm going to smooth that out on the top, kind of like you'd do trying to make a pretty cake, like so. Alright, now we're going to let it go another 15 minutes, and we'll continue that process for about 2 hours. So now we're at about an hour and 45 minutes. We're going to do this, that we're going to be going. So 15 more minutes. So here we are. We've come to about an hour and 45 minutes. We've smoked this thing for a good long time. As you can tell, there's not a lot of white. Even if I fold it over, it's all pretty much a consistent brown color. This is where I'm going to start tasting. Really about an hour and a half you're going to start tasting. We're going to grab us a corn chip. We'll dip it in there. Yep. We're just right there. So I'm going to let this go another 15 minutes and we're going to finish up. So we'll be back in just a minute. Here we are. We're going to finish up this project. I'm just going to put a little vegetable on here. We're going to season that up, put it back in there over our fire pit. Let that fire burn out on its own. One of these days we'll do a video on how to take care of your grill. Not today. Today, it's all about Tamika's Shut Your Mouth cream cheese dip and or spread. This stuff is wonderful. I want you to look at that. That right there is wonderful. It's got a wonderful smoky flavor. It's got everything that you want in a nice dip to share with your friends. You can serve it just like this if your friends are coming over. If not, let's take a little foil just like this. Put a couple spatula fulls of it, just like that. And we're going to make do it just like that right there. Now, we're going to put that in the refrigerator. After it gets to room temperature, put it in the refrigerator. that'll last you for at least 2 weeks, and you can just stick it back on the fire, heat it back up. It'll maintain its flavor the whole time. So that's Tamika's Shut Your Mouth cream cheese dip. Thanks for everybody that helped make this possible. We'll see you next time here in paradise.